Okay, good morning, everyone. We are at a new time. Although I guess we did this last week, but it was just Steve and I, and that was cool. But today we've got Tony as well. So last time, I guess we did it. We're going to be doing this 9 a.m. Central time slot, just kind of going forward. We're going to have a little bit more regularity in our schedule, and we're going to be meeting every 2 weeks. So we're super excited about that. We're also making some connections behind the scenes with some people who are working on the product outside of the development aspect of it, kind of just strengthening some of those communication lines and stuff like that. So we're getting really close to being able to use the AllReady product out in the real world. Welcome, by the way. This is the community stand-up for HTBox's AllReady project. On the line today, I've got Tony and Steve, and we are just all set to go here. So why don't you just, we got a couple of announcements as well. We are creeping up on a conference, so maybe I'll let you start there, Tony.
Yep, we've got one of my favorite regional conferences is That Conference. It's actually called That Conference. That conference has That Give Camp. And so that conference is actually the 7th through the 9th in the Kalahari Resort in Wisconsin Dells. And then That Give Camp is the 2 days before the Saturday and Sunday. And so if I'm doing my math correctly, that would be the 5th and 6th, and Saturday and Sunday up in the Dells. We've been doing this just about 5 years, I want to say now. We'll have a number of folks there who will be in the same room contributing to the project, doing great work. We've got Daniel Klein, some other folks who've been involved before are going to be running that. I believe we're going to try to have a kickoff stand-up to get them going in the morning on Saturday. And so very much looking forward to that. It's one of our best events every year in terms of getting people engaged and getting work on projects like AllReady. So we've got that one coming up. And then the other thing that I'll mention is just kind of state of the project, where we're at, how we're going, and do the Nate Silver sort of statistics thing. I don't know where we were the last time we did this, but we continue to kind of creep forward. We're over 130 contributors, named contributors at this point. That's just people who make commits. We also have a number of folks who have been helping out with issues, who have been working on UI, UX work, all kinds of stuff. Additionally, we're over 3,100 commits, so we've got a long history. Lots of people contributing code, contributing work alongside the project. We've got this thing actively being deployed. Every time we've got a check-in, we've got that work, as well as we've got a version that we can use live for testing. So we've got continuous integration, continuous deployment, just continuous coding, really continuous everything going on at this point. And then in terms of the project updates, we've got that conference coming up, which I just mentioned. James will talk about perhaps another thing or two, as well as we've got a number of issues. We've got some deadlines in there. So if you go look in the issues, you can see milestones, see prioritization of things to work. There's a number of new areas we're looking to put into the project. And ultimately, we're working against a set of exercises and a set of deployments that we're looking to do soon here in the next couple of months. And we'll have some more details about the exact timing and some of the nature of that coming up soon. So got a V1 out there. We're fixing bugs. We've got a deployment, and we're really looking forward to getting more people using this live and getting that feedback and really getting in the hands of people who are doing preparedness work for disaster response and really all kinds of important humanity type things.
Awesome. Thank you so much. Steve, on the code side of things, what's the prospect, what's the outlook this last week or so for you?
I've been a bit disconnected this week. I've just been sort of looking through some of the new issues that Emily's starting to populate now, and I see some stuff sort of coming forward around the sort of single sign-on and some of the identity stuff. So I've started to pull down and reinvigorate the identity server project that we kicked off some time back, to look at getting that project in place should we need it for those pieces.
Right on. And I think too, from a code perspective, one of the other things that is happening right now, we are siloing out the separate web and mobile projects. We've got some tooling upgrades. We're going to kill the unisolution approach, and we're going to have two separate solutions that can be worked on independently, and they can evolve separately. I'll be introducing a third one as well. I've been experimenting with Azure Functions, and we are going to be relying on some tooling that is in a pre-release state right now in an update to Visual Studio 2017. So we don't want to require everybody to have that in there. So I will have a separate solution for the time being that will fire up. And we're going to be moving our web jobs and we're moving away from Azure Web Jobs, moving towards Azure Functions. And so we'll have some of our things that run asynchronously moved over to Azure Functions. So that's kind of exciting. We're going to be getting over into some of these other things that are emerging from the cloud. And of course, one of the other things that we are really super excited about is the .NET Foundation is having a summer. It's a .NET summer hackathon. There are 3 sessions in it, and in the 3rd session, the HTBox has been admitted to the program. What this is actually huge visibility and a really wide-reaching net to implore and kind of engage .NET developers around the world, introduce them to open source, and help them contribute onto projects that are well enough organized and far enough along that they can actually be actively developed during this session. So we're going to have, I believe it's about a couple weeks, 10 days, somewhere in that neighborhood, starting early August. And keep in mind or keep an eye on the Twitter happenings for HTBox. We're going to be announcing more as we go. John Galloway from the .NET Foundation is running that. Of course, the entire HTBox team is going to be geared up and trying to support that as well. So we've carved out a project on our site, and over the next couple of weeks, as we groom through our backlog, there's just over 200 issues in there that we're going to have a look at. And as Steve mentioned, Emily's been kind of looking through the product and figuring out areas that we can focus on. We're going to have some themes emerge, and we're going to really start to focus on nailing down those things to make this app even more critical or more effective in use at times of execution for events. So super excited about that, and looking forward to the next couple of weeks as we get that through. So things to watch for would be that new Azure Functions project coming here in the next couple of days, and then watch the stream of issues that are going to be added so that we're going to start flagging things to participate in this upcoming hackathon. So, of course, if you are interested in doing something like that, we do like to say that we actually call them codeathons instead of hackathons. Tends to be our nomenclature. And the reason for that is because we are taking things like architecture and security and identity very seriously on this project. And we believe that in this project, contributors who are working on this are going to be exposed to, hopefully best practices, or definitely good practices around things like testing, around those other pieces that I mentioned, including security and even how we move data around using view models and disconnecting DTOs and things like that, and asynchronous operations processing, and cool things like mobile development and Azure Functions and all of those pieces. So we have some more exciting stuff coming. We've got that conference coming up in a couple of, I think you said it's 2 weekends away. No, it's actually about
week and a half.
Yeah,
6th.
Yeah, so not this weekend, but the next weekend. So we'll be doing an kind of a stand-up kickoff then, and we are going to remain on this bi-weekly cadence of Tuesday meetings for the stand-up. And as these details start to emerge about what's going to be happening with the 3rd session of the summer hackathon with the .NET Foundation, we will keep everybody posted. Steve, anything else from your side this week?
No, that's it for me. Thanks.
Excellent. And Tony?
Just as always, a big thank you to everybody who's contributed, as well as the folks who are going to see this and go ahead. As we said, in terms of timing, we've got that conference's Give Camp on the 5th and 6th. The 3rd session of the .NET Foundation Summer Hacking is the 21st through September 1st, according to their schedule. So we've got a number of things coming on in the next few weeks here in the next month, as well as you can always do the play-at-home version and go to the repository, look at the issues, and grab some of the jump-in items or some of the higher priorities. You don't have to commit to working on the project for 6 months. You can take 6 minutes, fix a bug, put it up there, make a pull request, and we thank you for that contribution.
Yep, just head over to github.com/HTBox, and you can find the AllReady project there, or check the links in the notes for the video. We've always got them on there as well. Thanks, everyone, for joining us this week, and we will see you in 2 Saturdays from now when we talk about the kickoff for that conference. Thanks, everyone. Cheers.